Chairman, members of the committee, my name is Ruben Murillo, President of the Nevada State Education Association, representing 40,000 members in every county in the state. And what I want to do is I appreciate the studies that people have referenced and the curriculum that has been offered. And, I wish that these curricula had been available when I was teaching, because it would have made it a lot easier for me. But I'm going to testify to you from the point of a practical application of what we're talking about. When I started teaching at Mountain View Elementary School, I taught in an old school where the old multipurpose room was divided into 2 special education classrooms, and we still had the kitchen in the back and an opening that opened up to the courtyard. And one of my duties was, as the principal kind of recommended to me, was to run the student store. And so I ran the student store for my entire time at Mountain View, and I used that opportunity to teach my students financial literacy and economics, even before it was popular. And so what we did is my students were responsible for keeping the inventory, what was selling, what wasn't selling, what needed to be ordered. They made the change. We had through math and through books, and we taught them how to make change, how to write up the little sheet of paper that how much money was collected and turn it into the office. That was also tied into a behavior management plan that helped them to understand the value of money, how to spend money, how to save money. Crude bank that we had baggies back then. They kept the little Mountain View dollars in there, and then at the end of the week, they were able to buy items from the treasure chest from the students that I provided on my own. And so from that point, we tried throughout the school year to make sure that the students in my special education classroom learned the value of money, learned the value of how to spend money, but also, more importantly, how to apply these to their life skills. And in fact, I was going through the airport about a year or so ago, and I ran into one of my former students. And, I said, "Congratulations, you're working at the airport, great job." And we're talking about the different things that she had experienced in my classroom. One of the things that she said, one of the things that she appreciated about being in my classroom is learning how to manage her money. She said, if I hadn't had, that kind of education in your classroom in terms of money management, in terms of the importance of how to financial literacy at that time, she goes, I would not be where I'm at now. And so from a practical point of view, it works. And I'm very glad that Senator Woodhouse is bringing this bill forward. You brought it up in the 2015 session again, and we supported you then, and we support you now. Thank you.
Thank you, Senator Hammond.
Thank you, Chair, and thank you, Mr. Murillo, for mentioning the 2015 session. And the reason why I want to make a comment now is because you opened that window for me. In 2015, the bill was slightly different, and one of my concerns then, it still is one of my concerns now, and I mentioned it a minute ago, and we were talking about standards and changing things up. During the course of a session, in this particular committee, we spent a lot of time on allowing folks to come in and say what ought to be taught in schools. And we're talking about a lot of things come before us. We're doing gardens. We're talking about cursive writing. We're talking about a lot of things. A lot of people think a lot of things ought to be done through the schools, but then they don't realize after we collectively talk about, and there was a good study that the senator to my left talked about, there's a lot of good information saying that this is really important, to do, but this is for everybody, not just you, but over the course of time, when you collectively put all that stuff together and we say, okay, now school districts get it done, we do that, and then we don't allow them to receive any financial support on some of the, a lot of the things, or if they don't get support, it's not just the support, it's the time. All these things that go on. How do we have enough time to do that unless we keep our kids in school until the end of June or, parts of July? So I just want to reiterate that as a lot of you guys keep talking about this is good, and believe me, I think it's good. I'm part of the charter school, and one of the things I did after last session is I reached out to a couple of different entities. Bank of America was very kind and said, yeah, we'll help you out with your financial literacy program, because the administration at the school said, I think we've found a way to integrate it into our program going all the way down to the elementary. And so they figured out a way. And so those people who are out there in the community say, hey, we would like to go to a school that has a financial literacy program. They find that school and they go, okay, that's where we want to try and send our kid. And there are other schools. I mean, look, I was I was a government teacher. It's in my heart. When you talk about splitting the government into only one semester and then teaching economics, I'm a little not offended, just a little cautious about that, because we still have all these standards we're supposed to get to, and so there's a pacing that happens, right? And now all of a sudden you just limit it down to one semester. You're accelerating the pace, which means this is how much deeper you can get into a subject matter instead of being this deep. And I want to caution everybody that, these are things that we have to consider when we talk about policy. There's a lot of great stuff out there, but then how does it impact all the other things we do? And I know I'm on a soapbox right now, but I want to work this out. The bill that we have today is a little bit different from the bill we had in 2015, and for that I'm grateful, because we have a little bit, a little more to work with, I think. But I still want to make sure I throw that caution out there, that we still have to work within those parameters, and I hope we get some support in doing that. Look, you can, as a government teacher, you can say, split it up and do some econ. And I was one of those guys who could probably do both, because that's my background. My master's was in this government. And so I took a bunch of econ classes, and you can weave in a lot of the standards from government into economics. You can make that happen. You can make it work, but it's not easy. It's not, you can't slap that on everybody and expect them to do that. Just throwing it out there. I feel like I'm on a soapbox, and I apologize, but I want to make sure everybody understands that this isn't easy when you talk about all these things that come to us. So hopefully we can work the bill so that it does fit into what we're trying to accomplish, and it doesn't overburden the teachers anymore, or the schools, or the administrators who are trying to make sure we get through the school year. Sorry about that.
So did you want me to respond, or was that a question, or?
It's not necessarily a question.
I think it was
it's a
a
statement.
soapbox.
Yeah, a soapbox. I think I stated that.
Well, if I may, Ruben Murillo for the record, absolutely we're concerned about a lot of things being put on educators' plates. And but back when I was in the classroom, this was part of something that we did every day. And I know that not everybody had the opportunity to work in a student store. But one of the things that we're talking about here also in our testimony that I haven't yet said is that we're also interested in the additional resources that we need to make sure that we carry out this kind of a program. We don't want an unfunded mandate. We want to make sure that we have resources to support educators through whatever however they apply this. And so it's great to hear all these companies and businesses coming up and offering curriculum and solutions. But one of the things that we are concerned about is the resources and the professional development necessary to carry this out.
Yes, thank you.